Oh, welcome back. Anyway,
Oh,
Lewis promised me in between that we wouldn't talk about funerals or dead people anymore because it is late at night right now.
Yeah.
And that is typically when the dead arise and start walking on our wretched, shitty earth to scare people and to extract vengeance for past crimes and things like that. So we're not going to talk about it because both of us are interested in getting sleep tonight.
yeah.
at
I
some
mean,
point.
Funerals are a racket, but also
Yeah.
weddings are a big racket.
Oh, yeah, weddings are a bit
They
of a racket
are
too.
incredible
It's a
price
big-
sink where
Oh,
you're expected
yeah.
to do all these bizarre things to do from the
God, yeah.
place to the amount of people you invite, from the dress to the DJ.
Yeah.
It is an absolute.
You went to one.
nightmare.
Well, you've been to a couple recently, haven't you?
I've been to a
Like
few
in the
weddings.
past, like 2-3 years, you've been to a couple.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I'm not.
Do
a
you have
fan.
any fun stories from those? Like, did you accidentally have sex with the bride or anything like that? You know?
Ooh,
No.
I can't say. Even
No.
if I had,
You
I
don't
think.
kiss and tell.
How do you feel about weddings
Having
and
sex with the
marriage
bride?
in a modern society?
Well, honestly, when it's your own, it's different because it's like, you do it because you do it for yourself to make things official and stuff, but you do it because you've got family and stuff as well, right?
I think-
It's a celebration
yeah.
and people want to like take part in that. But I think that a lot of the shit that happens at weddings and the things that are expected of people that they have to do and stuff like that nowadays, not only is it really fucking expensive and it's like $1 billion industry, so there's a lot of like pressure, like consumer pressure for you to partake in all this fucking bullshit. It's I don't agree with that side of it. I mean, I think if you're putting together a little sort of party for like your family and your loved ones to get together and celebrate something that's nice or whatever, that's pretty cool. But, like if you're getting like a fucking Hummer limo with like neons on the bottom and your wife has been crying for 2 weeks about her wedding dress and all that kind of shit, it's like, well, I don't know. Maybe those parts of it aren't like the best.
I think
Although, having said that, a Hummer limo is pretty fucking sweet.
a wedding and marriage are different things. I think that a wedding, expensive wedding, and by extension marriage is a little bit like a New Year's resolution to go to the gym or paying for a gym membership. So, in order to be faithful or to be, a lot of people might treat it as a thing where they say, okay, I'm gonna make this cost. I'm gonna make this payment. I'm gonna take this. I've sunk enough costs. We're gonna
Yeah.
go and we're gonna book a honeymoon. We're gonna pay for all this stuff, and then that's it. That's gonna cost me so much that I'm never gonna be unfaithful again. I'm kind of
You're
gonna
gonna
do you know what I
buy
mean?
the ring and it's gonna be like $40,000 and the biggest diamond you've ever seen and stuff. Like, what do you think about all that stuff too?
Well, diamonds are another racket, aren't they? Because
Wow.
they're not rare at all. Diamonds
No.
are this thing that De Beers controls the whole diamond. They've got warehouses full of them. And if you buy a diamond, for example, and then you try and sell it back, you only get like half the value. So diamonds don't have intrinsic value. They're not like gold.
But they are a girl's best friend.
But they're
and
not.
they are forever
It's
as
like
well.
Christmas. It's like Coca-Cola and Christmas. It's all fake. It's all made up. They don't mean
Okay,
anything.
hang on a second. 2 seconds before we continue
What?
this. Are you willing to fall asleep during the third round of your next fight to help a guy out who doesn't have any money because he got in trouble with the local mafia? Or do you want to threaten him to punch him in the face because you're an honorable fighter?
Fuck him up. Punch him in the
Okay.
face. Winners
Okay.
winners
Do what?
don't.
Back off. Be grateful I don't crush your face. I guess I deserve that. Okay. I will never ask for something like that again. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, carry on.
He wanted us to take a dive. We're not
He
taking.
wanted us to
we're not
take a
taking
dive for the local Don. Yeah.
Um.
Fucking prick.
Yeah. What a jerk. Sorry. So
What a jerk.
I feel like diamonds are a racket anyway.
Yeah.
Weddings, marriage. Do you know what though? The people that I know who've got married are, interestingly, people who I think have really thought it through and kind of made a real commitment. I think.
Oh, thanks, man.
You know,
I really appreciate that.
I don't know. I don't know if evolutionarily wise, because there's been a lot of talk about relationships. Well, people always talk about this stuff. I've been reading a little bit about it myself, but I don't know as a species and we don't really know what the kind of sexual or coupling system was that we evolved in. Okay.
No.
We don't know whether it was, for example, a system like all the females stick together, and then they kind of I don't know what it's like. Okay, I'm not going to start speculating because I don't know.
No, go speculate away. This sounds interesting. All the females stick together.
So all the females, it's free love, free sex. Okay, it's like
right,
hippies.
Okay. Yeah.
Men, the women choose which men they want to have sex with, and the best men and the nicest men, they fight amongst themselves or whatever. And the women, pick the coolest guys, have sex with those guys, and then those guys, the healthiest, the nicest looking, whatever. They, that's how we end up with evolution or whatever. Like, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what the system was. Whether it was like, because we can see lots of different systems in place in different animal groups, in gorillas and in sea lions and whatever. We don't quite know what the system was like when we were first evolving, but that must have a bearing on our psyche and our minds and the way we interact with the opposite sex and blah blah blah. We could talk about this for a long time, but the kind of thing that's in our minds at the moment as a model of something is this kind of nuclear family. Okay, that was
like
really
the Simpsons,
established,
right?
Yeah, so it's a 2.4 children style
white picket fence,
dad, mom,
car. Dad's the breadwinner. The mom stays at home, raises the kids. Like Leave It to Beaver.
Yeah, and in the last, I think, 20, 30 years, that's really kind of been torn apart, I think, in many ways. Partly because it's not really possible for families often to be supported by a solo breadwinner anymore. The wife...
In some cases, yeah, they can.
It depends depends. I don't think there's that many jobs that are... I think that you used to be able to have a pretty low-end job and still support a whole family and a house on it.
Well, I mean, back then you used to be able to work at like a cardboard factory, for instance, and make enough money to support your family.
I think that
you used to be able to work at the car factory, right? I think that was like 1960s America, like what's it called? The Wonder Years. You know, like Kevin's dad used to just fucking work as an auto mechanic. And Barb didn't have to do a job. Yeah.
I guess what I'm trying to say is that I think that having I personally think that having a strong family has been something which helped me grow up to be a well-rounded individual. And so when I see people being brought up by single mums without a good, strong male role model, maybe at all. But sometimes that does come through other ways, through school or friends or other things. I have got single. I grew up with a friend of mine was in a single parent family, and he was an absolute disaster. I think he's in prison now, and I've always felt bad for him, really. And I think it was kind of due to fact that he never had this male role model in his life or any kind of stability, and I feel bad that's happened, because I think it's pretty avoidable. This has gone very dark all of a sudden.
Well, I think it started with the funeral chat. It's because it's nighttime, we're just talking about spooky stuff. Well, maybe not so much nuclear families. On a lighter note, Lewis, you're like a fucking wrecking machine right now. You're kicking everybody's ass in this game.
Sips. That means
it's insane. I've got a really fucking beefy build for you right now, and we're doing pretty damn good. You're going to a bar right now to fight Tyler Durden.
Okay.
In the back alley. You're up against a guy named Klaus.
Okay, yeah. I can take
and
him.
You're using a couple of cool skills, okay? You've got this really powerful uppercut. But you've also got this thing called skip attacks, which lets you regenerate some energy, which is good for your energy. And you've got this other thing called beef hammer, which is a strike modifier, okay? If it's active, all strikes
That's what I
dealt by
call
you
my
have an
dick.
additional chance of reducing opponent's stamina. Yeah, so basically, in this back alley, you are whipping your dick out, and you are slapping Klaus in the tushy with it.
Wow.
And it's ruining his stamina. Yeah.
Good.
But actually, you're about to uppercut this guy into, like, the 7th level of hell.
Kaboom! So sorry. Yeah, thanks for deflecting. I guess what I'm trying to say is that
You felt sorry for your friend who didn't have a male role model.
Did
you try to step in and be the male role model yourself? You could have done that.
I'm glad that you have a kind of like commitment to. I think that marriage sometimes is almost like these days can be a kind of signifier of a level of commitment, you know?
Yeah. I think it's good. I think if you find the right person that you would like to live with for the rest of your life and make a family with and stuff like that, I think getting married and going through the whole marriage thing with the celebration and all that and having an anniversary and it makes it all official and it's very nice. It's nice to have something that recognizes that sort of commitment, I guess, you know? Like it's nice to have like an official thing. You know, you can have like a joint bank account if you want. You can have like things in both your names and stuff like that. And it's just like, it's kind of nice, especially like if you share a last name after you get married and then your kids all share your last name and stuff. And it's like, it's just a nice way to sort of wrap it all up, I guess. Like it's hard to explain, but
even
I've always been like,
even with
pretty
our
happy
modern
that we got married
society
and
our
stuff.
acceptance and our kind of allowance of all sorts of different things, we're very liberal, and that's great. I think
Yeah.
there's still a certain stigma attached to stuff, and you know you know the two of you will go somewhere with a kid, and everyone will assume you're married. And if you're not, then people will start thinking that's a bit weird. You know, it's
Yeah.
still kind of. It's not a religious thing. You know, you didn't marry for any kind of religious reasons. Why did you get married? You know.
Oh, because we're both religious, and it was like the next step. No, I'm just joking. Yeah, no, we got married. Well, I mean, partly, I think if we both grew up in the same country, we wouldn't have gotten married as young as we did, sort of thing. Because I mean, I lived in Canada, and my wife lived over here.
Oh, yeah.
And really, the next step, if we wanted
You
to actually
married
live
for a
together and
visa.
not have to get visas and shit like that, you know,
You
getting
married
married
for
was
a
like.
green card, Sips. Of course you did.
No, there's no green cards over here. Like I still have a Canadian passport. It's like it's like dual citizenship sort of thing. So,
Yeah. Citizenship. Yeah.
citizenship.
I have trouble saying that as well.
Yeah, no, so do I. But it's not like it's just like it's not the only reason you do it, but it is definitely, if you're not from the same country, it's something that you sort of have to think about at some point. Especially, if you don't want to have to like continually go back to your country of origin for stretches of time only to then just come back and stuff like that. Like it's kind of annoying. Like we had to do it for a while and it was like pretty annoying. So,
Well,
I don't know.
I mean, I didn't realize that it was a visa thing after all. I knew you were a big fan of the UK, and I knew you.
I love Visa. I mean, I hate MasterCard, so I was thrilled to get a visa.
But I don't know. It's difficult because I think marriage is classically this kind of religious thing, and
yeah,
much like a lot of things in our society, like Christmas. I think a lot of the time the religious stuff has kind of been stripped out, but we like what they represent.
Yeah.
And we're happy. Most people are happy to continue.
Wait,
what?
Did Jesus not want me to just get a ton of Nintendo games for Christmas? Is that not... Was that not the...
Jesus
the
loves
idea?
you very much. You've been a very good boy
Jesus,
this year.
I decree every girl and boy across the land shall receive Nintendo games on this day. Delicately wrapped and placed under the fireplace by an imaginary man.
What do people get these days instead of Nintendo games? I guess
Well,
they just get
like,
PlayStation games, right?
PlayStation 4 games.
Yeah.
They just get like Call of Duty and stuff like that, don't they?
That's sad.
That's sad.
We're not
Let's just
finished.
pretend that Daltos is. Let's pretend he's not talking, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Oh, Dalsos just came in and just gave us a big old speech about. Oh, never mind. You didn't need to hear it. All right, bye everyone.